Interviews with business owners and veteran executives who share their wisdom and expertise to help you de-stress, free up time, and make more money. Profits of IT. Welcome back to the Profits of IT. I am Jim Punzenberger, your host, and the creator of the Managed Prospecting System, the system that lets you generate leads and appointments through AI marketing reps. If you're looking to grow, check out managedprospectingsystem.com. Excited to have Sean with me today. Sean, please introduce yourself and tell us a quick bit about the company that you work for.
Sure. My name is Sean Lardo. I am the evangelist for the ConnectWise economy. Therefore, I work for ConnectWise, of course. If I think most people in our space, MSP wise, know who ConnectWise is, but just for the people that may not and live under a rock, ConnectWise is a company based out of Tampa, Florida, originally. We work directly with MSPs and help them to improve their working with their clients, and that's in various ways. Obviously, we're a technology provider, we know that, but we also provide tons of services on the other side to help people grow their business as well, with tons of peer groups and whatnot. The whole goal for ConnectWise today is to really try to ensure the success of the MSP and make things as easy as they possibly can to work with us.
Cool. So, Sean, what's something interesting about yourself outside of work?
Other than the fact that I have really good hair, would be the fact that I don't even know where to begin, but probably one of the biggest things that people see me on social, they know this, is that I have 4 daughters and 2 granddaughters. So yes, which is my life for the most part. I am the dad that is now involved in volleyball, softball, and I have time. My social life is like Thursday from like 9 to 10 p.m. So if you want to do something with me, ever get anybody, let me know. Thursday, 9 to 10 p.m. I'm good.
Thursday, 9 to 10 p.m. The rest of your free time is sitting next to a volleyball court. Is that
basically, or driving to the places, or because for some reason I don't understand. I mean, I'm older, but I don't recall ever in my life when I was a kid that there was a game that was 2 hours away. I don't know how that happened now. And for all you parents out there that are, know that I feel you all. I'm sorry. The struggle is real. Yes.
So the 1 hour volleyball match turns into all day because of the driving.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes it's not even a 1 hour volleyball match. Sometimes it's like 15 to 20 minutes, because sometimes there's scoring that just goes on like crazy from one side, and it's just like, all right, we're done. So yeah, pack a lunch basically, because you got a long ride every single time. So yes, that would be my life. Aside from that, I guess little known fact would be was in the Army for 9 years. So that's about it.
Service.
Thank you.
So Sean, what would you say is your superpower when it comes to business, or what do you contribute your success to, and how can others learn from that to be more successful themselves?
Sure. So I think I can go with the simple answer of, I'm a perpetual student. I like learning new things. I'm humble enough to know I don't know. I think that's a tough lesson to learn, especially when you're young. And if we're talking to sales reps, for instance, I think they're the best ones to speak about, because as a sales rep, you have to really use the concept of ignorance is bliss, which can turn into overconfidence, right? Because it's the only job that you get broke up with every day, all day. People tell you no all the time, and you have to keep coming back. So, early in my career, I had to realize that everybody uses the word hustle a lot, right? But there is a hustle. You gotta stay on top of things for yourself and improve yourself regularly. But that hustle is internally; it's not externally. You focus on yourself first and fix the things you need to. Be a student, learn from your weaknesses, learn from your mishaps, and then keep pushing. After that, you get humbled. Humility occurs regardless, because it's difficult. There's not one single person that's successful today that hasn't been turned down 1,000 times, if not 10,000 times. I think it's a big part of what's become important to me, is to maintain that. But also, once you do all that, It's more about doing the right thing for everybody else and being that person.
Yeah. So what else is important to know about this?
What's else is important to know about this? Well, again, I don't think sales is sales. Sales is more of it's relationship building first. It's helping people. You have to be willing to go after deals when you can, but know when not to take deals. When you're not, if you're not a good fit, you're not a good fit. Don't force it. When you were a child, you learned as a baby, you teach your children how to put a round peg in a square hole, right? And they learn how to put shapes and different things. Same rules apply here. Nothing changes. If you
So
don't have a fit, you don't have a fit. Then you know what you do. What you should be doing next is introducing them to the person that can help them. Then you help
not
two people. You should
not
always be
trying
that
to
way.
mold yourself into the if you're a round peg, don't try to mold yourself into a square hole.
Ever. You can't. Why would you? And that's and actually this is for all the MSPs in the world too. They should understand that they don't have to have everything. They aren't Amazon or Walmart. They're not a one-stop shop for everything in the world that exists. It's okay to say I can't do this and say no. It's okay to say you don't have the resources at that moment and and work with somebody else. And because the worst thing you can do is offer something that you can't fulfill. Because first off, you've really done bad business with somebody, it was unethical. And also for business sake, you lose credibility.
So what suggestions do you have to improve in this area?
Understand what your product market fit is, and product market fit is if it's a service or a software or if it's a physical tangible object, figure out what it is you can do. Build your business model around that. This applies to sales too, by the way. Understand what you understand. Understand exactly what you understand too. That's the difference. Don't start talking about gibberish stuff that you have no clue about. Don't get yourself in conversations or try to maintain a conversation at least that you don't have a skill set in. Don't be afraid to say, I don't know what you're talking about. I'll get back to you. Don't be afraid to say, hey, this makes sense to me. This does not. I can help you here, but I cannot help you here. But I can find somebody that can help you here. So let me go work on that. It's just like building a house. You know, there's to build a house, you have a carpenter, an electrician, a plumber, somebody does concrete work. It's not one guy or one woman that does all this. It is multiple people that work together to complement and build out the whole thing. Your business is exactly the same thing.
And what other thoughts do you have about this?
I think I mean, if you when you think about growing your business, and it depends on who we're talking to here, right? Grand scheme and the grand scale of everything that we look at, it's probably the most important biggest takeaway I can say is that leverage other people when you need to, lean on people when you need to make sure you're successful. If again, the same reason why I'm a perpetual student, because I don't know everything. And I want to work with people that do. I want to surround yourself with the smartest people, be the dumbest person in the room. You'll find yourself to become very successful.
Any final thoughts or tips for the MSPs out there?
Yes. You're a local company. You should be involved in all the local community events. You want to become known? That's how you do it. Contribute to your local community, work with them.
Any
Invest in charities. Why wouldn't you? If you're remember this community is giving back to you and giving you a livelihood, why not pay to be involved with what they're doing?
any other tips around local events and being part of the community?
Get involved in know where your fishing hole is. So in other words, where all your people, you're trying to grow your business, we know that. So why not? Why not find out where they are? I know some MSPs focus on certain verticals. I know that they work with, so if they work on healthcare, for instance, and they doctor's offices, where do they all hang out? Is it the golf course? By the way, I'm horrible at golf, but again, if it's a golf course, go. Even if you stink at golf, buy them their drinks. That's fine. Buy them lunch there. Just be around them. Be engaged. If you already have a good client, leverage that good client that's in that circle. Bring them in with you. Why wouldn't you contribute to their stuff that they do? Invest in them and people get to know who they are. Become friends first. You can always provide. You can always pitch them later. So they're going to ask you anyway if they like you. But I think that's a big deal for them. And just stay relevant with them all.
So one of the things that I always struggled with when I was an MSP was I'd go to events and they just want to bear any fruit for me. Like, I think I was fishing in the wrong hole, actually.
It's
So do you have any tips around like identifying if it's the right hole or the wrong hole?
well, I think if you the best way to start is if you're already somewhat established and you have some clients, right? Ask Be more engaged in their family dynamic of friends. So in other words, if again, and I'm using charities, I'm using Chamber of Commerce, I'm using like these are easy, very cliche things to say, but the reality is you have to get understanding if you're my client, Jim, and I'm like, and you're like, hey, I'm part of this recreational softball group. There's like 1,000 people involved, and a lot of them are in. I'm an attorney, and they're all attorneys also. And you're my client. Why not get involved with it? Why not be one of the sponsors on the shirts? And why not go to the games and offer whatever? Even if you don't play, go hang out with them. Most of these people will go to the bar after the game. We know this. So why not be at the bar afterwards?
Uh-huh.
Buy a round, become a friendship, and become friends and make friends and be sincere about it. Always be genuine and sincere. You're not doing it just to do business. The hope is to do business, of course. You may not get anything right away, but know that, I mean, we always talk about the 80-20 rule and everything. It's funny how the 80-20 rule applies everywhere somehow. But the reality is there's a certain percentage of people that you could work with right now that needs your services, right? But then there's a larger percentage that don't need your services right now, but may eventually may need your services. So at least be a friend. So when they do need it, just like your local mechanic that you may use that your father may have introduced you to, when your car breaks down, you call the same guy,
Right.
you
Any
know,
uh any
and have a
final thoughts on
process.
this?
How about that? How about have a pitch for what you do? Quick funny story is I was at an ASCII event in New Jersey last year,
Uh-huh.
and so we're sitting out back. There's this really nice courtyard area. I'm having a cigar because I love cigars. And a couple of my friends, and I'm friends with a lot of MSPs, obviously. So a couple of my guys sit down, and the guy sitting across at the couch from me at the other side here, like directly like 5 feet away from me, is Lawrence Taylor, right? So if you don't know who Lawrence Taylor is, he was one of the greatest defensive back players in history of the NFL, played for the Giants, right?
Right.
LT. Now I know who this is. I talked to him earlier that day and saw him, told him about the courtyard. He's back there smoking a cigar.
I
So
remember seeing him here in Wisconsin when he was at the racetrack, at
yeah,
the IndyCar race. There's
he's
a
always at racetracks. So we're having a cigar, and all these MSPs come over. They don't even know who he is. So I introduce him, like, this is Lawrence Taylor. I tell him who they are, who he is. And so he's like, are you guys all here for a conference? And they're like, or do you guys all work for the same company? And they're like, no, we're here for a conference. We all work for different companies. Like, well, what do you guys do? So I don't say anything about anything yet. 10 MSPs, and 10 minutes later, they're still explaining to him what they do. And he's like, what did you say? And so the one guy says, we fix computers. He's like, why don't you just say that? And then the other ones start saying, well, that's because there's this and this. No, English to English translation is key. It's like if you go to see the doctor and they talk in complete Latin because that's how the muscle is and how the skeletal is, all in Latin. I don't speak Latin. I don't know what you're talking about.
right.
Latissimus dorsi, I have no clue what you're talking about. Oh, you mean lats? Got it. Just say that. Back, got it. Same rules apply. Know what you do in a quick pitch. If you can't say it in 20 seconds, you don't have a pitch, and you're going to confuse me later.
Got it. So you mentioned that there was some other vendor you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. So ConnectWise is very big into trying to help other vendors to help partners. We focused on the last 2 years now, well, year and a half at this point. We made 3 promises as ConnectWise, which was to make it easy to work with us for partners, to also invest in partners' growth, and to be able to give the ability for more innovations and faster. That's the core of the promises we made. So one of the things that obviously ConnectWise, or just like any company, we can't provide everything for everybody. It's impossible. There's no such thing, right? We can cover a very big core of requirements, but at some point there's other companies that have to get involved. So we do have a marketplace, and we have a program each year, and this will be much bigger this year, which is called Pitch It. Pitch It is more like a Shark Tank concept, and we allow vendors to apply. Mostly your startup guys, men and women that are like in there, but they complement the ecosystem of ConnectWise, of course. But most importantly, they complement them in the fact that it makes it easier for partners to use the softwares that they need and get the integrations and the add-ons and whatnot. Because at the end of the day, if we don't make it easy for MSPs to do business in as many ways as we can, they don't grow, they struggle. They're MSPs. They're as good as their services are, which part of their services are provided by vendors like us and these other companies. So last year's Pitch It winners, great, really good people. The company's called Traceless. You can actually see them on traceless.io, and that's their website. Now, Gene, Rich, and team, and Peter, they're phenomenal people. They're MSPs too, by the way, just to be clear. They're MSPs that built something that MSPs could use. And they focused on this, the last couple of years.
Sounds like the ConnectWise origin.
Right? It absolutely does. But that makes sense. They're actually in the trenches working on it. They're like, hey, I need to fix this. This doesn't make any sense. So they worked on this Traceless product. And what it does is it gives you the ability to transmit encrypted files and data securely to anyone with no setup. It's traceless. That's why it's called Traceless, which I thought was pretty cool. Yes, but these guys are phenomenal guys. They're sharp. They get it. And the funny thing is, they determined that they should build this because they realized they were shipping passwords through emails to people. And if the last 2 years didn't tell you anything, was the fact that everybody did the digital migration that was supposed to happen 15 years ago actually finally happened due to COVID, right? Everybody went to work remote. Like you're in your house, I'm in my house. Yep. Everybody's working remote. And all of a sudden, MSPs didn't have the strength to really support this multi-device, multi-physical location places. They couldn't control VPNs are obviously important, right? At that point. But if they don't have that, what do you do? And so Traceless, and I strongly suggest you, if anybody's, when we're talking about this kind of stuff, I see this conversation happen regularly on all Reddit, Facebook, Slack. They talk about this type of way, the ability to secure data, manage it, and make it easy because it's such a physical problem. You want to check out Traceless. They're phenomenal.
And the website is
traceless.io.
Yep. It sounds like a great product.
And they have really ugly costumes, but it's cool. They tie-dyed like hoodies and sweats, and they stood out. It was smart. It was great marketing. I was like, God, that's just so ugly. But they're not. Some people really like this. I probably shouldn't say that. Some people thought they were really nice.
Well, I haven't seen them, so I can't comment.
Don't worry. I'll send you it. Don't worry.
Well, thank you for your time here today, Sean, and sharing your great wisdom and expertise. And it's been a pleasure to have you on.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate it. Hopefully this helps.
I'm sure it will help a bunch of MSPs.
Perfect.
And until next time on the Profits of IT, I am Jim Punzenberger, your host and the creator of the Managed Prospecting System. You're looking to generate new partners or clients without cold calling, ad spend, or spamming. Be sure to check out managedprospectingsystem.com. Thank you for tuning in to the Profits of IT. Please smash that like button, subscribe, and share.